All right, let's go ahead and begin. Thank you everybody for coming. Anyone that kind of decides to join in, we'll go ahead and admit them as they arrive, and then we'll just go from there. Thank you everyone, and we're gonna go ahead and pass it down to Miss Mino.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Today is my first day back on campus, and this is the first time in over a year that I've put on real clothes to come to work. So if the last year did not make you rethink and reimagine your wardrobe, perhaps this workshop will. I'm going to kick off this presentation with 5 fast facts about fashion. I will walk you through your threads from cradle to grave. So first, the average consumer now buys 60% more clothing than they did 15 years ago. It is estimated that nearly half of the clothes in your closet are never worn. Either they don't fit, are out of style, or you've forgotten about them. To that point, the average number of times a piece of clothing is worn has decreased by 36% from 2000 to 2015. Thank you, fast fashion. So all of this amounts to 123 billion pounds of clothing being bought each year. And this number is expected to rise to 205 billion pounds by 2030 and 350 billion pounds by 2050. And what is all of this clothing made of? 65% of the clothing we wear is polymer or plastic based. Fabrics like nylon, rayon, and polyester are all derived from crude oil. Around 70 million barrels of oil are used to make the polyester fibers in our clothes. Yes, polymer-based fibers are easy to clean, durable, lightweight, and inexpensive, but they take hundreds of years to decompose and lead to microplastics escaping into the environment. Globally, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane are the heat trapping gases that lead to climate change. Jeans manufacturer Levi Strauss estimates that a pair of its iconic 501 jeans will produce the equivalent of 33 kilograms of carbon dioxide across their entire lifespan, which is just about the same as driving 70 miles in the average US car. Just over a third of those emissions come from the fiber and fabric production, while another 8 is from cutting, sewing, and finishing the jeans. Packaging, transport, and retail accounts for 16% of emissions, while the remaining 40% is from consumer use, mainly washing the jeans and disposing them in a landfill. Vast amounts of water are also needed to produce the clothes we wear too. The fashion industry is responsible for 20% of global wastewater. The UN estimates that a single pair of jeans requires about 2 pounds of cotton. And because cotton tends to be grown in dry environments, producing these 2 pounds requires about 2,000 gallons of water, which is about 10 years worth of drinking water for one person. So where does all of our unwanted clothing end up? 85% of all textiles thrown away in the United States are either dumped into a landfill or burned. The average American has been estimated to throw away 81 pounds of clothes every year. The US EPA estimates that 22 billion pounds of textiles end up in methane producing landfills, while another 6 billion pounds were incinerated. So I want to leave you with some things to look forward to. Fashion made from more environmentally sustainable materials is increasingly big business. Bioculture, or biocouture, is a new way of creating fashion using sustainable textiles, dyes, and manufacturing processes. A few easy ways to make your closet more eco-friendly are: first, simply buy less. Don't fall victim to fast fashion and seasonal trends. You can also go thrifting, swap clothes with your friends, or even your parents. I know the last time I was home, I raided my mother's closet. Other things you can do are repair your clothes instead of throwing them out. If you love fashion and following fashion trends, companies like Rent the Runway and Newly let you update your attire by renting clothes without endlessly purchasing new clothes. Much like looking at food labels, look at what your clothes are made of. Certification programs like the Better Cotton Initiative and global organic textile standards can help consumers work out how green your clothes are. Lastly, upcycle. Transform your clothes into something new, which is what we're going to do today, and I'm so excited to get started.
Thank you, Ms. Katie Mino, for that wonderful introduction. So we're going to go ahead and just not kill any more time. I do want to briefly introduce our Rebecca. Rebecca is from Maker's Mess. We've worked with them in the past. They're wonderful to work with. And I'll go ahead and let you take over, Rebecca. Anything else that you need over on our end? I want to make this as interactive as possible. If anyone has any questions, comments, feel free to chime in, and then we'll just have fun doing this. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. My voice is coming through this video, demonstration video, just in case. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this mission. I love, you know, I need to repair this shirt, but I love it so much. I'm never gonna let it go. So I'm totally in with you all on this. So we're gonna start with this scrunchie. I cut this already from a shirt that I had. And I wanted to do a little design on it with some fabric markers. So that's totally something you guys could do. Fabric markers are really great to kind of upcycle and change up whatever you're making. But you're gonna take a t-shirt or a piece of clothing that you have, and you're gonna cut a strip of it. For this scrunchie, you can do about 3 inches if you want this scrunchie to be kind of a smaller one. This is one I made previously. Or you could do about 5 inches wide to get one of those nice kind of, they're pretty trendy right now, those like thicker, fuller scrunchies that look really cool. But for the length, you want to have it about 15 inches. So I'm going to cut my fabric down to 15. And if your fabric is scrunching up or anything like that, or has a lot of wrinkles, sometimes it's nice to iron it really quickly for next time if that's causing an issue, just so it gives you a little more help when you're creating the scrunchie. So mine is about 6 inches wide, so I'm going to cut that down just a little bit more too. So I have about 5 by 15. Cool. Then once you have that, you're going to take your fabric and you're going to flip it so the good side is facing the table. And what you want to do is you want to fold your fabric up, and you're going to place glue. Oh, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Make it so the good side is folded up or is facing up. You're going to fold this in half. You're going to fold just that little lip over, and you're going to place glue all along there. And then you're going to place this fabric. Oh my goodness, my cat just distracted me. I'm so sorry. You're going to do that side. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to cut this off really quickly. You're going to put the glue on the good side. And then you're just going to fold them together like that. And it's good to really like run your fingernails along the glue so that it really sets it into the fabric. And then you're going to flip your fabric just so you can see that the seam is nice and connected. You might have to put like a tiny bit of glue if you missed a little spot, but you just want it like right there. I missed a little spot. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue there, just so that this seam is nice and connected. Cool. So you're gonna flip it back around. You're gonna take your cup or whatever you have, and you're gonna put your fabric over that cup, right? Then you're gonna take your rubber band that you have, you're gonna put that over the cup and the fabric, like so. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this top part, you're gonna fold a little bit down, looks like 1/4 of an inch. You're gonna put a little bit of glue there. And then you're gonna take your bottom part, you're gonna make a little fold on that side as well. And then you're gonna press those folds together. It might be a little tricky at first, just the first couple of glues that you do, but once it starts gluing all together, it'll be a little bit easier to maneuver. Then you're just gonna push those together. And the fold helps create that nice seam, just like we got with the first part. So you're gonna continue to go around your cup and do this, where you fold the top about 1/4 of an inch. You apply your glue. And then you fold in the bottom part. And then you push those two together. And again, it's a little hand-eye coordination, finagling at first. But once you get the hang of it, it becomes a little easier. So then we're just going to continue that around the entire scrunchie, folding that top part down, applying your hot glue, folding in the bottom part, and then pressing them together. You might get some glue on your hands. It's the beauty of hot glue. It always gets a little stringy and gets on your fingers, but it dries quickly. I loved hot glue when I was little so much. Always wanted my mom to let me use it. So you're going to continue along. Once you get to that seam, it might not want to fold as easily. So when you get there, just really press it down with your fingernail. Really get it nice and pressed and help to create that seam. And I like to put a good amount of glue where these two seams are gonna meet, just because the fabric's a little bit thicker. You want a good amount of glue there to really secure it. And it's also good to just hold it for a little bit, because that seam wants to kind of unfold on itself. Cool. So just have a little bit more to go, and then we're done with the scrunchie. So fold that in. And then once that's done, you just pop it off of the cup. And you can check this seam if there are any places that you missed. And just pop a little bit of glue in there and push it together. And just check all the seams, get any of that stringy hot glue out of there. And that's your scrunchie. Super fun, super easy way to upcycle your clothing. into fun scrunchies. They'd make great gifts. Mother's Day is coming up. You could always give one to your mother. Sure, they would love it. But that's a scrunchie. Let me know if you guys have any questions before we move on to the tote bag. You could also hot glue embellishments on it. I have these crazy pom-poms you could totally put on there. There's also some rhinestones, which would be very pretty. I'm all about anything sparkly. So you could totally add some of that by just hot gluing it on there. Again, you can use fabric markers to draw on the fabric to create your own fun design on there as well. So the design possibilities are really endless when it comes to upcycling and making something new out of your old clothes. Cool. Okay. So we're going to do the tote bag now. I'm going to clear some of this off. You can unplug your glue gun too if you're done making the scrunchie. Clear this space off. And then you're going to take your old t-shirt and you're going to lay it out flat. And these totes are so great. I've done this multiple times with my old t-shirts and I really, really love them. So what you're going to do is you're going to first cut the sleeve off and you want to cut just inside of the sleeve seam. There you go. And you can always save this. You could probably finagle a little scrunchie out of it. You can make a lot of things with this. So save this for sure. You could braid it and make something cool or add a little extra tie on onto your tote. Use it as a rag for cleaning. So you're going to cut those arms off just inside of the seam. And then we're going to cut, this V has actually made a perfect little guideline for me. But if you don't have that, you're just going to cut a good V or circle from the neckline. And also with your tote bags, you could totally put your own design on them with your markers or the rhinestones again. And play around with decorating it. Great. So you can kind of see how that's already creating our tote handles, right? So then we're going to turn the t-shirt inside out. Lay it flat once again. And this time we're going to go to the bottom of the t-shirt. So at the bottom, what you're going to do is you're going to cut about 1/2 inch wide strips. And you're going to go up about 3 inches. So usually it's like the length of adult scissors. And you're going to do this all the way across. And if they're not uniform, that's totally good. They do not have to be perfect. This all the way across. Sometimes too, you'll see at the end, you could do this on the right side of the shirt if you wanted to have some sort of like little fringe at the bottom of your tote bag. But I'm going to show you the way where it's kind of hidden. And then later, when you make another one, you can make that artistic design decision for yourself if you want to have a little fringe at the end of your tote bag. And then you're also going to cut just along the edge to create those 2 strips at the end as well. Cool. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to go along and we're going to tie. I have a little glue gun stuck to my fingers. We're just going to tie the top and the bottom together. So you're just going to tie it together. And we're just going to do one little tie, one little knot. And you're just going to go along and do this the whole way. We're going to add another layer of knots. So if you're questioning me about how sturdy this is, I promise we're going to add another layer. You're just going to do this all the way down. This is where the fast motion video comes in. And this goes really fast, but instead we have to be here. These also would make a great gift for your friends or family or mom for Mother's Day, or dad for Father's Day, or for anyone in your family or life. I always think handmade gifts are so lovely and special and end up meaning so much. Really, really love them. So we're going to continue to tie all the way down, tying the top strip with the bottom strip. I've also seen some people use 2 different t-shirts and they'll do cuts along the side as well so that they can put 2 different t-shirts together. So you can definitely play around with it. Once you get the rules for how to make something, it's always fun to break them and kind of play around to make a design or artistic choice for whatever you want to make. I know when I was younger too, a lot of girls would cut up their shirts and add cool ties and all that stuff together too. So you could always take this concept and go wild with it too. So then now that we have that first row, what you're going to do is you're going to take that top strip and tie it to the bottom of the next strip, right? So you're kind of going crosswise. And for this one, we're going to double knot it. And this will just really secure that knot. It also helps cover any gaps that happen. So you're just going to take that top strip and tie it to the next bottom strip. And you're going to double knot it. And you can kind of see how it's creating a fun little fringe. So again, you could, on your next bag, always put this on the right side of your bag so that the fringe shows, which would be really fun. I love a good fringe moment, always. Depending on how old your t-shirt is, mine's pretty old here, so the fabric is definitely a little thinner. So this bag would probably hold a little bit lighter things, maybe some light notebooks or like a good little going to the park bag with maybe some fruit and book or something like that. If your shirt's a little sturdier though, then it'll be able to hold a little bit more and be a little more durable. You just want to keep going the whole way, really securing that bottom of your tote. Also, if you put this on the outside for fringe, you could always, I'm really pushing the rhinestones. You could always put rhinestones on the bottom of the fringe too. Have kind of sparkly, fun fringe. Or you could put pom-poms at the end of it as well. So we're gonna keep going, almost there. It's kind of a nice like zone out too. Like once you're doing it, you just kind of zone out and tie knots. So nice. I love crocheting while I watch TV or like at the end of the night, just because it feels like I'm still kind of being productive, but can zone out while doing it, which is really nice. Cool. So I finished that last double knot. The last thing you're going to do is just take the end piece and just double knot it to the closest piece of fabric. And that will just secure it all together. This piece, double knot. Cool, so that's the bottom of your bag. Again, totally leave it like that. Or you can flip it that way, and all those knots made it so secure at the bottom, which is really great. There's no gaps or holes there for anything to fall out. But now you have your little tote bag, which is so handy and so awesome. You could totally make designs on it with markers or rhinestones. You could use the sleeves to add bows if you wanted to the top. Or you could secure it, make a little thing up there. It's really up to you, and you kind of get to go crazy and artistic and wild with that. But that's it, everybody. Does anyone have any questions on the tote bag? Still working on it? Awesome. Yeah, it takes a minute, which is good. Yeah, but that's it. Any questions on scrunchies or totes? Any ideas? You can decorate this one a little bit if we want to. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna plug my thing. Actually, it's been plugged in this entire time, which is great. So I'm gonna decorate with rhinestones like I won't stop talking about. You could put your friend's name on it with rhinestones. Your mom's name. Instead of hot glue, you could always use, they also have fabric glue, like that you can use for seams, like when you're working on curtains or anything like that. You could also use that, which would keep from getting these stringy bits. Sometimes that's kind of a good workaround for those. Hot glue is great, but you could also use that as well. There's also the bedazzler. I grew up with one of those. Has anyone ever had one of those? They are amazing. I thought about it the other day and I was like, I need to go on eBay and find an old one so I can bedazzle it again. Because man, that was fun. Does anyone want to share their scrunchie? Show us their scrunchie or bag? No pressure.
I finished mine, but only had
Yay.
little kid scissors for some reason.
Okay.
Really jagged and just like, I don't know if you can see, but it's very jagged along here.
Okay.
It is a tote bag.
That looks great.
The fabric I chose also is really, really thin.
Oh, yeah.
It is definitely a tote bag, which is exciting.
That's exciting. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. If you wanted with the jagged edges, you could always use the hot glue gun and fold it over and create a seam if you wanted to. Or when you find adult scissors again, just give it a little trim and play around with it that way. Great work though, that's cool. So satisfying, isn't it? When you finally like have all the knots done and like pick it up. So cool, that transformation.
All right, good stuff. Rebecca, thank you so much for the tutorial.
yeah,
They're
of course.
amazing. I think now people can kind of take time to kind of finish up whatever they're decorating their scrunchie and their new tote bag with. Otherwise, for you people at home, thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and continue with decorating and kind of doing some last minute wrap up here at the CEI. But otherwise, just thank you very much for participating. And, round of applause for Rebecca. Rebecca, thank you. Nice to have you. And I'm sure we
Thanks,
will
everybody.
be in touch again for future workshops.
Yay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I'm going to leave it on until the end of lunch in case anyone wants to continue to stay behind. Otherwise, have a great Monday, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, absolutely. Leave it. I'll take care of it. Thank you. Of course, absolutely. What's that? You can do that. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of it. Thank you. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Awesome. So I think we're pretty good on our end. Again, you're
Okay, great.
fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and end the Zoom. And again, thank you very much.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you guys. That was fun.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest
Have
of
a
your
good
Monday.
one.
You too.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.